So I think it would be nice warm welcome from my side also to tell you something about the region where you are now and about organization which I'm actually representing. So some of you know what we are doing, where we are moving in a sector of culture and youth and science a bit, but some of you, I think maybe a first time here and met us just yesterday or this morning, and maybe don't know enough about us. And I think it's good to know our perspective and our side at this project, and maybe some other which I'll mention. So I said Paštrovići region. Administratively, we are south of Montenegro, municipality of Budva, and our region, small region, includes all those places here. In the past, we've been part of course, like all this region, Roman Empire, Byzantine Empire, first Slavic cultures and countries, but also today, actually last few centuries, part of Venetian Republic, of Serenissima, Mletačka Republika in our language, and also our neighborhood on the eastern and northern side were at the same time parts of Ottoman Empire for centuries. And all of us who are dealing with the past somehow can distinguish which elements are coming from the Eastern, which from the Western cultures, which are remains of the Christianity, others are maybe remains of Ottoman or Muslim context, and many other in between, local, today's global, and so on. Later in the 19th century, until the beginning of the First World War, this area was part of Austro-Hungarian Empire, first Austrian, then Austro-Hungarian, from 1867, like as Sarajevo in some points, like Vojvodina, like many other very far away regions from here. But on just few kilometers, you have completely other culture. You have Ottoman Empire at its end, but also you had the Kingdom of Montenegro, which was completely different, we may say, Balkan and Slavic somehow culture. So mix of everything we had here, and I think it makes us rich as a people, and we should have a look about it as a privilege to have all those layers, all those dialects, all those Romanism, but also Orientalisms in our language. So somehow to be aware of its richness and not to get rid of some elements or to avoid to confess that we've been part of something else which is maybe far away today culturologically from us. Some few photos, and now we have really beautiful days. It's almost like a June and not the beginning of April. So I guess that we'll have time to see something around, to see Petrovac, which is this city. Now we are somewhere here. The Riviera Hotel is under the Malo Brdo, or small hill, which is here. And we have remains from Venetian period, Lazaretti, like quarantines in the past, and Castello, Castle, Tvrđava, Utvrda, which was actually here. We have remains of Sveti Stefan, which was very interesting and still today is cultural landscape mark, amazing, like a settlement of local Paštrovići community, which is today a hotel. I mean, last decades is a hotel, but last 20 years is privatized, and last few years it's fully closed. And there are big conflict among the investor or private corporation and local community about it. What should be this place for? Does only for rich, wealthy people. There's around €1,000 per night per person. It's amazingly expensive, and it's fully closed a few last years. And you as a regular people cannot go there. People had houses there for centuries, their families. Not mine, but I know many other people who had houses there and who were removed at the mid-20th century, and then was the biggest and most maybe well-known hotel in former Yugoslavia created and established there. But last few years, when it became somehow private, given to private investor, they are fully of problems. And Europa Nostra, I guess you all know who is Europa Nostra. That's like an international European organization for cultural heritage, but also natural heritage. They last year gave us award to be one of the 7 most endangered sites, including Sveti Stefan and nearby region Miločer Park. Not only because there are some devastations there are, unfortunately, and maybe they can be solved, maybe not, but most important is those social aspects, impossibility to come, to participate in heritage, to enjoy in heritage, to spend time there. Because we all know Faro Convention from 2005 about Convention about values of cultural heritage for societies. Montenegro ratified it in 2008, and elements of that convention, European one, is implemented in our national law protection of cultural properties. But unfortunately, in the case of Sveti Stefan, we cannot enjoy it fully. So one of many problems, if we somehow deal with past, and we deal on a basic level because there are so many objects, fortifications, archaeological site, monasteries here. We have around, I think, 7 monasteries today. They are Orthodox and 1 Roman Catholic in this Paštrovići region, and something like 70 churches, which really is, if nothing, very interesting thing. And it's more than enough to have 70 churches. We are speaking about 10 kilometers and 2 kilometers in the hinterland 3. And few are landmarks in the past from Venetian and Austrian period. We've been formally Sud Dalmatia, South Dalmatia, as a part of Austro-Hungarian Empire and the province of Dalmatia. And previously I told you connections with other countries. But now to come back to our organization. We are civil society organization, NGO, nevladina organizacija in our language, established 2016 by Mila Medin, my sister, and me. She was a director for a few mandats. Now I'm there, so we are family business somehow, but it's not business, it's a mission, I would say, to share culture and to do, I would say, good things. We are mostly young professionals or just professionals in a field of culture, art, heritage. Mila and her expertise is design and ICT sector and programming, so on. And we are basing on volunteer level. And we have many other members, not only families, but also friends. Ivana is one of them who works with us and is part of Bauo. I'll tell you later what means Bauo, as I promised. We are dealing mostly with heritage, with cultural, because my professional background is archaeology and management in culture, and I'm now on my PhD dealing with past and heritage again somehow, and I'm afraid I'll do it forever till the end of my life. And what we are doing, organizing cultural events, organize scientific events, events for youth, try to digitalize heritage. We are doing publishing a lot. I'll show you some of our books later. And we have many partners, and I'm lucky to say many donors from local, national, but also international level. We are now finishing one project in Reload program. I guess you heard about it. UNDP development program supported by EU. And now we are in RYCO 1. That's our newest program. Bauo means chest. Like a small place where you can put something which you love and which has some values for you. And those Bauo on our local Paštrovići dialect, or Baiul, or Baiun, or I heard in Greek, they also say Baule or Bauo, something like that. Baule in Albania, thank you. Falimenderit, I didn't know it, but I love to learn, is something which is heritage per se, but which also can keep the heritage. It can be also something which you can move in the past. When you travel somewhere, you send some stuff. For example, many people from local communities went to America, went to Australia, and they sent baule full with wardrobe and many other money and many other things to their families to help them, because here we were the poorest, unfortunately, till tourism, till mid-20th century. Now, luckily, it's opposite. So Bauo is heritage, it keeps heritage, it's kind of a movable, and all our families here have some Bauo. This is not our, we have one newer and not wooden, but made by other materials. and we really love it. And you know, in the past, when some girl get married, her family sent her a skrinja with so many stuff. So our Bauo is now with Mila and her new family. So tradition is continuing somehow. Yeah, this looks at our Bauo. And our logo is kind of abstract visualization representation of Bauo. Yeah, that's it. Of course, websites, social networks, we all have it. Main focus, as I already told you, culture, youth, informal education, because we are NGO, we can't do formal educations. But we had one big program just finished about informal education, about management in culture, about writing projects, about finding donators, and around, I think, 80 young people from this region passed through it, and some other topics, tourism, a bit agriculture, but in the context of culture and heritage and sustainable development. Some of our projects were connected with local community, and we are mostly doing with local community, but also wider, about collecting traditional songs, traditional dances, which unfortunately were not in a domain of many other institutions and professionals, and we somehow gathered it, and now finishing one big monography and documentary moving and scene representation, like a small theater about traditional songs and dances from this Paštrovići region. And what you heard previously are our local traditional songs, Oje Lova Goro, and those traditional costumes are from Paštrovići region. Those costumes may look like, to somebody, may seem like some Western costumes, and they truly are, because of those connections with the Venice and later Austrian cultural context. We had one interesting project about signs of death. I'm trying literally to translate it. Those are actually memorials, those plaques which exist. Unfortunately, they exist on the roads when somebody dies on the road. And here are some books which you can take freely on that table, some of our newest publishing works. And one of those is Obilježja smrti, or signs of death. We try to digitalize everything, and we would be happy if you are willing to share your presentations with us, because we are recording everything on Zoom and with camera, and we would love to publish these presentations online on our official YouTube channel and our social networks. But if somebody doesn't like, let's tell us. We, of course, fully respect it. We organize conferences, international one. I'll show you just a few of them to better introduce us. There are some friends here, and someone's mother is also here. Professor Lilja Gavrilović from Belgrade, and her daughter Ana is here, about intangible cultural heritage, about agriculture and sustainable development. Yeah, we all recorded about Paštrovići and Venetian Republic. Last year, we had 6 centuries of writing a contract between those two entities, big Serenissima Republic and small tribe at the end of Adriatic for them. But Paštrovići were important for Venetian as a borders, as a warriors near the Ottoman Empire. And in the 4th April, yesterday actually, but 601 years ago, that contract was signed between those two sides, because it was a decision of that period to go to Venetian side, then to Ottoman side in that those region. We also have conferences and projects about cultural heritage and creative and cultural industries. And we had 3 conferences till now about potentials, about new technologies, and the last one a few weeks ago completed about traditional food. And this was something in between about youth and innovations and humanities, because we are trying to stay in a domain of humanities, but maybe sometimes to go a bit around and come back And this conference about gastro heritage or food as a heritage or food heritage was the last one. And we have a few books of abstracts here, which you may take if you want. And here we are now. And I'll be happy if we have some other results, not only this book of abstracts from this conference, but we will have definitely recorded your presentations and maybe in some future, some book, why not? Our publishing work about traditional and heritage, intangible one, about brides in the past, about intangible cultural heritage, those proceeding. I think that's the biggest book I edited because I'm editing a lot of books. I think this is 800 something pages, and all those books are published online on our website and on my academia profile. Catalog of exhibition about traditional music and dance, about declination, so linguistical topic, but from the old documents from Paštrovské isprave. It's actually a PhD. It's very interesting that this PhD was defended in 1965 at Harvard University in US. And it was unknown, completely unknown here. Never not translate, actually it was written in Serbo-Croatian. But today it was fully unknown. It was till 2019 when we published here, thanks to Harvard support. And some other books about our cultural history, about living local heritage, about traditional songs and stories from one old guy from local community who wanted to publish his memories, and we helped him. And one interesting topic for us, it was the only one in that context, about hidden histories, about queer histories from queer and gender topics. And we unexpectedly, or maybe expectedly, in Montenegro found so many interesting examples in archives, in museums, in private histories. And we published, I think, more than 600 pages, big book about that topic with colleagues from one activist organization from Podgorica. But of course, we are mostly in a deeper past and in cultural heritage in a more narrow sense. So we wrote a book and published about maritime law and maritime history, about Dubrovnik and Kotor according to those medieval statutes. It's one PhD, which we published, and then a book, Signs of Death, Memory and Warning. And few of our last work with together with Hera Edu, private company from Belgrade, publishing house. We published 3, but now also 2 more, so 5 scientific articles, Limes Plus, about the cultural heritage and creative industries heritage in the network of creative industries. And our newest example from a few months ago is starting a scientific journal, Studies of Humanities and Art, Contexts of Culture, which I unfortunately have maybe just few copies here, no more, because there were many people who wanted to have that book and we gave it. We don't sell it, we share our things. And I'm lucky to have some of the members of the additional board and some of the authors here, and we will have more of them, I hope. So for now, I'll stop. Thank you for your attention. I hope I wasn't so boring, but I want to really share with you what we are doing. And I now suggest, or maybe if you have any questions, any comments, why not? We are here, we have some time, we are good with time. I think that according to the schedule, we have coffee break from 11, and then in 11:30, big panel discussion. So guys, I'm here, and Bojana is also here. If you want anything to ask us and to share with us. If not, I'm sure you will next days. So thank you once again for your attention, and maybe we can take a small coffee break and then to continue in 11:30. Thank you.